Okay, so I wanted to bring this up. I mentioned this in the book of Genesis and in the book of Moses. We talk about the mark of Cain. This is something that came out of Hugh Nibley's book, Abraham in Egypt. So I wanted to put this out as a little bit of a separate video so you can share this as well to help get this out about what really does this, what do we need to understand about this mark of Cain. Traditionally, we think of the mark of Cain as a blackness or darkness of the skin, and that is the curse, and that the black people are cursed, and that's why they didn't get the priesthood, and blah, 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 blah. That's not completely true. That's a traditional narrative that hasn't actually been borne out to be factually true all the time. So let's look at what Hugh Nibley says in this to help us gain some more perspective on this mark of Cain. Hugh Nibley says, since time immemorial, they have been identified throughout the people of Cain, basically throughout the East, with those wandering tribes of metal workers whose father was Tubal-Cain. Okay, if you remember, Tubal-Cain was one of the descendants of Cain, and he did metalworker. Tubal said, this is in the Midrash, which is the Jewish tradition, Jewish writings. Tubal bore the sins of Cain and followed Cain's trade, for he prepared weapons for murderers. Okay, that's important. That came out of the Midrash, which is a Jewish historical document. So Tubal-Cain followed this, a tradition that's clearly echoed in the Book of Mormon, if you look in Ether 8:15. Now, Tubal is the Sumerian Tibera, which is coppersmith or metal worker. Now, as the sign of their mystery and their tribe, the wandering smiths or tinkers have always blackened their faces with soot, a practice still found among journeying sweeps and some others who work at the grimy forge. The name by which they were known was Cainites, or Arabic for smith. The ancient people of Tubal were also connected with Nukhashe, the name that designated those parts of Asia Minor and Syria where mining and metallurgy are believed to have originated. The same word is the common Semitic root for copper and its alloys, and it is the Egyptian name for the Ethiopians, usually translated as the blacks. Now, according to their own report, the universal folklore, these traveling menders of pots and pans must keep traveling because they are under a curse. They are the gypsies, says a very old Judeo-Christian writing, who carry loads, and they march on the roads with their backs and necks breaking under their loads, and they wander round to the doors of the children of their brethren. They beguile their outcast condition with wild music and dancing. If you remember, that was one of the other descendants of Cain, came up with music and dancing. And they are called the Cainites of old, who enticed the righteous Sethians, called the children of God, to join in their revels and so fall from grace in the days of Jared. Now, we're not there. If you're reading, make sure you get into Moses 6, and we're going to talk more about those 6 and 7 and 8. Now, their special mark is not the blackened face and hands, however, but a tattoo on the hand or arm, a Tau sign or a circle and cross. In Genesis, it is the brand of Cain, ancestor of the Cainites, and in Ezekiel, it is the divine mark set on the brows of all just men. So we realize in Ezekiel that there is a mark that we put on the just man, and then there's a mark that was put on the people who followed Cain as well. According to a Midrash, which is a Jewish writing, God placed a letter of the alphabet on Cain's hand as a mark, so that no one would slay him. And some of the Jewish doctors maintain that the sign of Cain was the mark on David's brow. Certain it is that the mark of Cain goes along with a cursing, a wandering way of life, and a distinctive mark on the body. So they didn't talk about the blacks meaning skin color. They were talking about how these people who had a mark on their body were black because of the soot of the metallurgy and the metalworking and the things that they did. So that is more of an origin of this mark. Okay, the black people or people that are African American are not a cursed people necessarily. They are that way. I believe we have diversity of skins, diversity of genders, diversity of philosophies and opinions, because God wants to teach us how to get along. So rather than use dark skin or Asian eyes or whatever, things are different. There's diversity given to us to give us multiplicity opportunities to understand different things. And it's there to help us learn to love each other, not hate each other. I think that's why we have different skin types and shapes of eyes and things like that, because it's there to give us an opportunity to love and understand other people. I think that's why God had put those in there. It's not necessarily the mark of Cain. That was a symbol or like a brand that was put on them. But it's that, so there's the skin color is confused over time and has been used as a way to hate people. So again, that's the Master Mahan principle. So just hopefully this helps you open up your mind and understand a little bit better that we are here and diversity is given to us to give variety, to give us opportunities to learn. And we want to make sure that we are using that opportunity to learn to love people. That's what God wants us to do, is love people, not ideologies, not wealth, not possessions, people. That's a Zion society, is those who give their value to the people more than the stuff. Okay, that's why the law of consecration will work, not because your bishop says, you've got 3 shovels and these guys have none, will you give them one of yours so that you are equal? That's not what it means. It's not about the stuff. When you love your neighbors more than you love your stuff, that is a law of consecration. That's when it will happen and we'll do more, okay? That's the important point. It's loving the people that makes the difference. This is such a common trend in the gospel. Loving people is what the gospel is about. Loving stuff and ideologies and other things other than the people is what Satan is about, because the people are the children of God. Okay, Jesus Christ died for all of the children of God equally. For you, for Hitler, for whoever, he died equally for all of us. And he loves us equally and wants the best for us and gives us the best chance we can to improve. So let's follow him. Let's follow and love people and be concerned with people and work on getting this Master Mahan principle out of our life that we learn in Moses chapter 5. So let's pull that out and stop messing with that so that we can be a Zion society. So hopefully this helps give you some more perspective. Leave in your comments what you think about this, and we look forward to seeing you on the next videos.